Well, good morning, everybody. Hope you're all doing fantastically well. It's Connor. What is going on in your world? Let me know in the comment section below, everybody. Thank you so much for your support on the video yesterday. A really interesting video looking at the recruitment side of things when it comes to Leeds United. Who's going to be leading it regardless next season? But if we are in the Premier League, how's it gonna look? I would advise checking that out. Over 200 comments on the video yesterday. Incredible engagement, incredible interaction. You guys are flying at this moment in time. Tomorrow, I am putting myself through an absolute sharpshooter of a day. We've got a Sheffield United watch-along. We've got a Burnley watch-along. We have a Leeds United watch-along. We have the instant match reaction. We have the fan forum all live, everybody. So join me for around about 2:30 tomorrow as we get into the Easter weekend, my favorite weekend of the championship calendar, everybody. Please slap a like on the video. Would really appreciate that, everybody. This video, as always, you know where to go. It's Shop Gnonto. It launches on the 5th of May. But if you sign up now, you get a £25 membership through One Leeds. Absolutely free. You can't get that through anybody else, only through my either affiliate link in the description below or going on the site and saying you came from One Leeds. Make sure you hit the affiliate link in the description below, everybody. We're sponsored by Match Bingo as well, everybody. Head on over there. Check out your bets for the weekend. I'm getting my cards for this weekend today and this evening, everybody. We have battle lines. And we're going to be speaking about Sheffield United. We're going to be speaking about Burnley with Joe, your favourite show, some of yours anyway, on the One Leeds fan channel. So I'm sure I'll see a lot of you guys there. The top comments of the last video were you. I hope Farke isn't heading the recruitment. I don't expect him to be with us in the long term. Seeing the Weigl link makes me think he might be trying to reunite with his old players. And if that's the case, we might as well book our ticket back down. He's got to do better. We only get one shot at this. We've also got Bob, who says, why does everyone assume Farke will fail in the Premiership? Sure did with Norwich, but Delia didn't back him at all. He got the financial clock. The 49ers behind him now. Give the guy a chance. The three clubs that went up and came straight back down, we need to understand it's a different world. And if we don't grasp that, we'll come down like a ton of bricks, says Cole Mahoney. So there you go, everybody. A variety of opinions. Make sure you get your comments in the section below. We will not banish you if you have a comment which maybe disagrees with another comment or even disagrees with me. We will obviously welcome that. I might not agree with it, but we'll welcome that, of course. Okay, it is your tactical preview. Stay with me to the end, everybody. We're going to be getting into the predictions for the weekend as well. Today, we are speaking about Oxford United, what they're going to bring to the party, and how Leeds are going to be hopefully able to disrupt that party, because Oxford are doing okay at this moment in time, everybody. They're doing okay. 2 wins in their last 3, and they've absolutely disturbed the status quo at the top of the table, of which, you know, we're all very, very happy for, aren't we, when it comes to Sheffield United. But we're going to be getting into what we've been getting into throughout the past couple of weeks. You guys have really enjoyed this, so please make sure, as I say, you're slapping a like on the video. And let's get into the tactical preview, shall we? So this is how I think Leeds are going to set up, obviously, against Oxford. I think this is going to be really interesting. Now, let's just speak general terms on what's happened with Oxford. So Buckingham left, and it was pretty much a half and half game state. You know, Buckingham had, I believe it was like 18, 19 games with Oxford United, but there was an issue. And that was solved a little bit by Gary Rowett, and it has been solved really in Oxford United fans' opinions by the former Brummie boss. Gary Rowett's come in. He's made them a lot more solid. Buckingham went up with them, was playing in a 4-3-3 system. They were playing lovely football by Oxford United standards, but they were getting cut open a little bit. They were struggling to win games. They were struggling to see it out. We played them earlier on in the season in that formation, and they were so open. Leeds hit them for 4. This game is not going to be the same. It's away from home, where Leeds United have picked 9 wins up in 21. Oxford have now picked up 10 wins in 21 at home, so it's going to be closer than a lot of people think. But they've got a little bit of a weapon, and this weapon has worked really well for them, it feels like, in the last couple of weeks, and we're going to get into that in just a little bit. But the midfield have offered protection to the back 4 now. The reason behind that is because now they've switched to a 4-2-3-1, which is obviously what Leeds United playing. So it gives them a little bit more license, don't get me wrong, to counter-attack, but it also gives them a little bit more protection, as one of the double pivots, similar to Leeds United, will always remain on the cover. So something to bear in mind there. So when it comes to Leeds United and how we're going to set up for this, oh, goodness me, it's nervy, isn't it, this one? Now, you'll just ignore the arrows for just a second, but this is going to be the back line, the back 5, which is nice. It's kind of Burnley-esque in a sense, because this back five is now starting. It feels most games. This guy has made such an impact, and he's going to be an impact for this game. Now, let me just touch on Karl Darlow. He's going to be huge in terms of claiming, in terms of getting his angles right, playing out from the back. We'll just put our oversized ball in. And it's going to be absolutely key in terms of Darlow. Let's make that ball a little bit smaller, shall we? I can't take that seriously. Well, let's do this a bit smaller. There we go. So when he's getting his angles right here, I mean, being able to pass it. And this is what Illan Meslier is kind of good at, getting his body shape right. We know he'd ball roll it and give it to Rodon, ball roll it and give it to Ampadu. But he's going to be able to mix it up, hopefully, in here, Karl Darlow. I'd like Tanaka to drop deep and him to hit him a couple of times as well. Tanaka does like to split the right back and the centre-back and the centre-back and the centre-back on this sort of right side of play. I'd love him to do that and for Darlow to find him a little bit. So then it means that you're going to have to drag Rodriguez in here. But Darlow's distribution for me has been pretty decent, and he's not afraid to mix it up as well. We saw the last game at home. Some didn't go for him, but he's brave enough to play that ball out to Tanaka, or if Bogle's in this position, he's brave enough to hit Bogle on that long ball, which is quite nice to see as well. So Darlow's got a big, and we're going to get into why it's big for Karl Darlow in this game in particular. But I do feel Rodon and Ampadu are going to be pressed a little bit. I don't think you're going to get Oxford in a low block. I just don't have that vibe. They've got a good home record. They've not been, aside from the QPR game at home, they've been very, very decent under Rowett at home. Obviously, they lost that QPR game 3-1. But I do feel when Leeds are building up from the back, you're going to see this a little bit from Oxford, and they're going to try and win the game. They won't feel at this moment in time at all that they're home and host, 17th in the division, but it turns around so much at the bottom. And I think Oxford are going to be very, very well aware of this. So Leeds have got to be extremely careful in being complacent, of which Sheffield United, in my opinion, were when they went down to Oxford. They were complacent, and Oxford, I thought, thoroughly deserved the win on that day. Thoroughly deserved it. So we've just got to be key in and around these areas. Okay, so I think Rodriguez is going to press a little bit. I think you're going to see Oxford, press a little bit when it comes to Leeds having the ball out from the back. And we obviously see the same setting that we normally see as well. They will vary it up. Oxford do like to vary it up as well. There'll be some situations where Gruev maybe has the ball in here, just drops a little bit here to get the ball off Ampadu, which we know this is now on Tanaka to just get a little bit further forward and help Aronson in the advanced 8 position here. And Gruev has to dictate the ball. But what I don't want to see Gruev do is just get the ball here consistently, give the ball to Firpo. In this game, you do need to see the progression of Gruev. And I quite liked in the last game how him and Solomon were combining really nicely on this left-hand side. And the midfielders, the double pivots having the ball and splitting the lines and hitting the right side and the left side here when it comes to Gruev and Solomon and Tanaka and Gnonto. That's where Leeds really started to split the lines against Preston and really get some joy. So that's going to be really, really important for Leeds United. But they will sit back in some phases, and they did against Sheffield United, of which I based this on. They will sit back in some phases when Leeds' midfield has the ball. But I do feel when the back line has the ball as a unit, they're going to press up maybe 2 or 3 of the players, which we've seen a lot through this season. So Leeds going to be encouraged as well to get forward, on this left-hand side. Leeds normally build up on this right side, but obviously that is when Dan James is in the game, and I do think Leeds are going to build up on this right-hand side again. We did it to really good effect against Preston. I'm just going to show you what I meant on the video, on my comments, earlier on this week. So Leeds, if we are building up through Karl Darlow at the back here, let's say Jayden Bogle has the ball. Bogle's marauding up this right-hand side. I could be Leeds' player of the season here. What I did love, I have to say, about the Preston game is what you would normally get with a back line, okay, is the back line would be like this against Dan James, a real straight line. And you'd have Bennett here, who I'd absolutely love Dan James to be up against. By the way, Bennett's 35 years of age, and we're going to get into why Bennett's been included here. But you will get Dan James, so Bogle having the ball, and Dan James immediately getting on his bike, which would mean there's probably about, at points, maybe 10 yards between Jayden Bogle and Dan James, which means that obviously Goodrum, but whoever we've been playing against on that left-hand side, whether or not it be Franke for Preston, just dropping into that spot, it means that there is an ease of which the opposition can get in between that pass. And if they get in between that pass, it can be quite a lot for Dan James to recover. So what is quite different about the Bogle and Gnonto relationship, I found in particular, was the fact that Gnonto cuts off these half spaces. Now, that offers benefits and it offers negatives. Okay, that means Bennett comes up here. If Gnonto does lose the ball here, you're going to have Bennett and Goodrum as a double going at Jayden Bogle. They're going to win the ball here off Willie Gnonto. Gnonto might be up here. They might win the ball off him, and then as a pair, they'll get forward. So that's the problem. They're going to be higher up the pitch. But the combination play I found in the last game between Bogle and Gnonto was really short. So you would get a lot of the time Bogle giving the ball to Gnonto, Gnonto cutting inside here a lot of the time, which to be fair, you do see with Dan James, but then you would see a lot of the time Bogle been here. And then Bennett's got another big problem there. Gnonto can feed the ball in here if it just separates the ball. And then you've got a different situation here. Gnonto really does like to get in and around these spaces, which will help Brenden Aaronson. We've seen Dan James do this a lot of the time as well, when he likes to cut in and have a strike on his left foot. But the beauty I find about Willie Gnonto is it aids Aaronson. It really aids Aaronson. And I thought Bo got his best game of the season last week, and I think it's been underrated how much of a contribution Willie Gnonto in those little tight spaces, been able to have that combination play with Willie Gnonto instead of, Dan James been up here and it been effective, I think was quite understated. So I think Willie Gnonto in this game will give Bennett a lot of problems. There is an argument that you'd rather have a bit of pace behind here as well to stretch a 35-year-old Bennett. And I do think Dan James is on a different level in terms of pace, obviously, to Willie Gnonto. I think Gnonto's got good agility over 5 yards, but his acceleration isn't on the same level as Dan James. So that's something to bear in mind as well. But those half spaces, Bogle and Gnonto have to be absolutely key. So you are going to see Goodrum here, I think, trying to double up with Leeds building up on this right-hand side. So another thing that I wanted to focus on. So I'm going to shove the ball out here. I'm going to shove this guy out here. So Oxford in 2 of their last 3 games have caused oppositions serious problems when it comes to the old throw-ins. Now, Will Vaulks has the most ridiculous throw. It's very Rory Delap-esque. He can throw the ball 20 yards, it feels, 20, 25 yards. He has now contributed to 2 goals against the Sheffield sides in the last 3. Okay, he contributed to the goal where Dembele put the ball in the 38th minute against Sheffield United, which killed the game, and then they defended really, really well. And then he also put the ball in at Hillsborough in their last away outing, of which Long, their right back, put the ball into the back of the net with a bit of confusion. It is as sort of route one as it gets, and it has turned into a real problem for opposition fans to deal with. Okay, so the pressure now comes on this guy, in my opinion, the non-natural centre-back, and this is what we're going to see. Okay, Leeds are going to be backing it. Phillips pushing up here, just in that between Ampadu and Firpo. Goodrum up here as well, and this is what is going to happen. Okay, in terms of just Brannigan just staying there, they're going to push one of them up, I think. Leave maybe Brannigan back here. Rodriguez will just drop in. And you are going to get a lot of this, okay? So obviously Leeds going to drop back a bit as well. You get Tanaka just in front of here, Grove in front of here. Leeds are going to have to be really careful, and this depends on what these guys do as well. Brannigan could be a little bit further forward. Piroe's not going to be that advanced. Arison's going to be in there. Solomon's probably going to be the outlet as well. So you're going to get Long in around here as well. In my opinion, they're going to push up like this. Probably Nelson and Brannigan are going to be the furthest back. And this is what you're going to see. So I've got arrows in from either side here. And this is what you saw against Sheffield Wednesday. It's what you saw against Sheffield United as well. The ball is effectively launched in here. This is where this man is so important as well. We know how good Rodon is in the air, how effective he's been. He's going to have to mark this guy who's an absolute monster in the air. Hellick, who's obviously been at Barnsley and Huddersfield, and now he's at Oxford. He's been a huge problem in the air. Striker Harris is always there, waiting for that rebound as well. Long got the goal against Sheffield Wednesday. Excuse the pun, Long. But it's going to be a big issue, and you might actually get Nelson in there as well, and one of the smaller lads, let's say Harris, even though he's a striker, just dropping back a little bit. It's going to be a big game for Ampadu here, because he's got to deal with this. He's got to deal with it, and there's a lot of physicality in and around this box. There is a lot of problems when it comes to ricochets, and they're well versed on this now, Oxford. They've hit this a lot, in terms of effectiveness. Aronson probably wouldn't be that effective here. You're going to have to get Joel Piroe, in my opinion, in and around this. He's 6'2". He's going to have to help out. You're going to have to get Leeds' bigger players in and around that sort of 6-yard penalty area. Piroe's got to be strong in there as well. And you've got to get your little men just on that transition. And Leeds might be able to hit them quickly if that doesn't come to the fore. This is where Leeds are going to miss Pascal Strout massively, but you've got to be compact, you've got to be strong, and you've got to be disciplined. Carl Darlow's got to be massive here as well. If that ball's coming in, I want to see Carl Darlow, big man, claim the ball, and then Leeds can do this. We can completely switch this around, and you can get Darlow arcing that ball to a Solomon on the counter-attack. You can get the exact same thing here with Willie Gnonto in terms of that arc from Carl Darlow. Okay, and you can get Leeds doing this on that counter-attack. and pushing all the players forward. Aaronson's probably going to lead the line, and you're going to get this sort of scenario. So Darlow's got to be key here. But this is where we can really hurt them. So a lot to look at really tactically. A big thing as well is Kieran Brown is out, who is their centre-back, who's been their player of the season. He's been unbelievable. He's even got 4 goals and 3 assists in 41. He's played over 3,000 minutes. He's massive, and he's out for Oxford for this one, which is going to be absolutely huge for them. But they've shown they can still win games without Brown. You know, the last outing, they've got to Sheffield Wednesday, and they've won. But Leeds have got a massive task here. It's going to be, I think, really, it's going to be the toughest of our last games. As I say, both Sheffield clubs have been beaten by Oxford recently to 0 as well. They're normally involved in very, very tight games, taking out QPR, which some would say was a little bit of a false result in sort of context. But it's a big game for Leeds, huge game for Leeds. We've had these sorts of games, which is what has laid criticism at Leeds' door when it's come to your Portsmouth games, your Luton games, you know, where Leeds just haven't got to grips with it. We're going to be the last to play. There's going to be pressure on us. I do believe both teams are going to win this weekend in terms of Burnley and Sheffield United. So the pressure is going to be on Leeds. There is a point at which it will be down to 2. I still think Leeds will get the win in this game. I still think we will get promoted on Monday. That's what I actually think is going to happen. I think Sheffield United are going to falter at Burnley, and I think they're going to win on Friday. I think they're going to beat Cardiff, but it's not going to be enough, and I think Leeds are going to go up. That's what I think will happen. I think it's going to be tight, but if Leeds turn up and Leeds are effective and we are able to defend these long balls well, and we're able to defend in the 4-2-3-1 well, and each player turns up 9 out of 10, I don't think Oxford can beat us. But I've been wrong before, but let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. A lot to think about tactically, but Brown being out is massive. Leeds have to focus on these set pieces and these long throws, which are going to and have disrupted a lot of very good teams this season. One thing to bear in mind as well, Burnley came down here, they drew. Sheffield United came down here, they lost. Okay, neither team has gone to Oxford and scored. So one thing to bear in mind as well, 10 wins out of 21 for Oxford at home, 9 wins out of 21 for Leeds on the road. So we're going to have to turn up. We're going to have to be better on the road. I still think, even though the form table puts us at second, I think we're 3rd or 4th in the form table away from home, we know away from home it's still been a bit tricky for Leeds this season. We've got 9 away wins all season last season, and we're on 9 right now. So it would be an improvement if we got obviously the 10th or 11th away win this season. So, but we'll have to wait and see. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. How do you see it breaking down? Who do you see winning this game? Join me tonight for the battle lines. Join me as well tomorrow for all of the watch longs, everybody. It's been an absolute pleasure. It's Connor. I'm out. Like, comment, subscribe. See you in a bit.